Hi,
Hi.
I'm Keaton. I'm with the Heights. I've got a couple questions about Sarah Mannelly specifically. Um, as a star player last year and this year, and as like a returning captain, can you talk about like her biggest strengths and her biggest weaknesses?
Strengths and weaknesses. Sarah has a ton of strengths. She's, I've always said, I've been saying it for years, she's the best athlete I've ever coached. And she's, probably one of the most coachable kids out there. I mean, Sarah, you can tell her to do X, Y, and Z, and she does X, Y, and Z perfectly. But I think her biggest strength is she's really selfless. Her teammates love her because she has the team goals in mind before any individual success. She would any day rather make somebody else look good than make herself look good. And I think her teammates love that, and they play hard for her. Weaknesses, I don't really know. She's, really mentally tough. She's physically tough. There's not much to complain about. So.
Right. Can you talk a little bit about her development as a player and as a teammate over the years?
Yeah, I mean, her freshman year, she was really resilient for a freshman. We put her in really tough situations. She was scoring the winning goals for, against big ACC opponents her freshman year. And then I think as she got older, she really learned a lot from her teammates. She was very respectful of the girls older than her and was trying to absorb everything some of her older teammates could teach her. And because of that, she developed. I think the greatest thing about Sarah is that she even got tougher and she got smarter as her career went on. But again, I think the foundation of who she is the fact that she puts her teammates first, and it's always the goal of the team. So,
can you think of a standout moment that she's had with your program, just either from overall or even last year?
A standout moment. I mean, again, it's kind of reflected in everything I've said before. I mean, she's had a ton of winning goals, and she gets a million draw controls. But I think the favorite play that I think about when I think of Sarah is last year in the North Carolina game. It was a really tight game, and one of our really steady players had a couple turnovers. And I just remember one time she turned the ball over, and I watched Sarah run 100 yards, chased the girl down, checked her, picked up the ball, ran it back down, and gave it to the girl who turned it over, and we scored. And it was like my favorite play of all time.
And now with the loss of Covey and Michaela last year, how are you expecting Sarah to step up and fill those spots and work with Caroline in order to fill the holes that they left?
It's funny. A lot of people have been talking about this. I don't expect Sarah to fill Covey or Michaela's role at all. I expect Sarah to be a better version of herself, and I expect other people to step up into Michaela and Covey's role. And, we do have a really good supporting cast, and Sarah's lucky, and, Caroline's lucky. We've got, a really strong Sam Apuzzo freshman. We've got Tess Chandler, Kara Magley. We have people, really stepping up, Kayla O'Connor, Kate Rich. So we've got a lot of good people that are more than willing to step up. So no, Sarah just needs to be a better version of herself.
And then what qualities do you think make her a great leader and captain?
I mean, I think all the things I said. She's selfless. She's very committed. She's fun. I think she has a really good balance of what she's doing. She works hard, but she still is kind of like the team clown. Like, she's funny, and she's always cracking jokes and making everybody laugh and feel comfortable. But it's her mental and physical toughness that I think, separate her from everybody else.
I think that's it for me.
Hi.
So I'm going to ask about Caroline.
Great.
Can you talk about some of Caroline's strengths and weaknesses?
Sure. Caroline, she's been such a steady player for us for, 3.5 years. And this year I think she's been really, really committed to stepping up and making sure that she can be as dominant as, she's capable of being. She's an incredible athlete, and, she's very smart. She's probably the smartest player on the field. She's always thinking through things. Her lacrosse IQ is off the charts. So, we're happy about that.
Can you pick out a moment from last year when you were most impressed with her play?
With Caroline's?
Yes.
Oh, my gosh, yeah. Well, Caroline, we can tell Caroline she has to shut down the top attackers, and then we can tell Caroline she's in charge of getting draw controls, and then we can tell Caroline she's got to score goals. So, she does a lot of the hard work on all areas of the field, and that's really tough as a midfielder because you also are running for 60 minutes, plus having all these heavy responsibilities on both ends. But Caroline answers to a challenge, and she really responds well when you tell her something to do, to tell her to do something direct, a very clear goal, and she will be very driven and committed to that goal.
So those sound like a lot of good leadership qualities. So were those what you looked for, like last season you saw these qualities in her that made you think she would be a good team leader this year as a captain?
Absolutely. But her teammates voted her, and Sarah and Tess and Molly. So, but yeah, I've known that all along about Caroline.
Can you pick out a moment so far this year when you were impressed with her as a captain and a leader?
Yeah, I mean, every day she takes charge. Every day, if there's not a drill going the way she would like it, she stops and she brings in the group and she tells them that they need to get their act together and we need to have more energy or whatever it is that we need. She's a tough love kind of captain. I think she's very good at saying, when people need to be better or stronger. And she's also good about holding herself accountable too. So, she's a great leader for us.
And what do you anticipate her overall impact being for the team this year?
I think she'll just continue to do what she's doing. I mean, she's going to be dominant on all sides of the field. Her and Sarah and Sam Apuzzo are collaborating really well on the field and creating some good connections. So I expect her to sort of lead the path with that, and then be a defensive presence, be vocal, and certainly be fast in the midfield so that she can get all those 50-50 balls and draw controls. And so she's got a big year ahead of her.
If you had to describe her in one word, what would it be?
In one word?
Yeah.
Committed. I would say committed.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Okay, so I was just going to start with the season. So, you guys got off to a great start, defeating BU on Friday, 18-9. Can you kind of take us through that game and kind of what your overall thoughts are on your team's performance?
Yeah, I was really proud of them. I thought they did a really nice job of sort of facing the weather, the fact that we haven't been outside, the fact that it was our first game, the fact that it's BU, which is huge, and I think they turned that into a really tough product out on the field, and I was really happy about that. We did a lot of really nice things well. And they played hard for 60 minutes.
And, after you guys went up 8-0, BU kind of closed out the half with, 4 straight goals. What did you kind of say to your team during the break to kind of regain that momentum going into the second half?
Yeah, I think it just came down to winning the draw. We knew BU was going to be good, and we knew they were going to be tough and that it wasn't going to be a shutout for sure. So I think we just tried to get them focused more on getting the ball at the 50. And then just working a little bit harder offensively for the opportunities because we got a little sloppy. So we just wanted them to clean that up and work harder in the midfield.
All right. And what can the team what can the team expect this week from Holy Cross? And then how will you guys kind of turn around and prepare for the weekend series against Notre Dame?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's an awesome week. 3 Jesuit schools that are all looking to beat each other. And I think Holy Cross is, we've actually never had a great game against Holy Cross. So I'm just hoping that my girls can remain focused on putting a good product out on the field. And, we need to have a great day today at practice and a great day tomorrow at Holy Cross so that we can be prepared to beat Notre Dame.
All right. And, Caroline recorded her 99th career point in Friday's win.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that.
1 point shy of becoming the 20th member in program history to achieve 100 career points. What would that milestone mean to both her and the program as a whole?
I think it would mean a lot to Caroline. But I'm sure if there was a defensive stat, too, she would be just as proud, of that. I'm sure she'll think about it for a couple minutes, but knowing Caroline, she won't focus on it. But it's always nice to have some of our players recognized and, the accolades are great, but I think it's more about what confidence it will bring her and how it will help her be a better player.